1. Hello and welcome to All I Do Is Fail. I am your host, Mr. Tom Elwes. I'm joined today, as ever, by my co-host, Mr. Ali Woods.
You gave yourself a Mr. today. You just normally call yourself Tom Elwes.
Wow.
Is this a sign that you're finally acting your age?
Yeah. Well, this is a sign that maybe, I've survived coronavirus and, I'm going to go this.
We're still
this
here, guys. But we have actually been in this podcast studio the whole time. We're not leaving. We're just getting Deliveroo in and not shaking hands with the driver. Hi, listeners. How's it going? Ali Woods here. Spring has sprung for me. I love it. Walked in the sunshine here today. So good.
Is that really sunshine, you?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, no, but it's March, so March sunshine is perfect for me.
Yeah.
Then it
August
gets a bit too intense. Sun cream comes out. But I'm all good. Thank you for people who've been coming to my previews. Really appreciate it.
We are joined today by the fantastically funny Mr. Alfie Brown.
Hello, good to see you.
Thanks. Evil villain voice.
No, I mean, it's great. It's great to be here.
How are you doing? You okay?
I am feeling quite positive. I've had a lovely change. I didn't like the sun. It was misleading. It was cold, and then I was sweating in my jacket. I didn't like it.
You've got a very warm-looking jacket. I was going to say when I saw you today, but I didn't want that to be the first thing to say, that I'm just sort of analysing people's jackets when they walk in.
Well, we had quite a nice first exchange. We're kind of like, it's mad, this building, isn't it?
Yeah, classic chat.
And then you offered me a coffee.
You can tell it's two stand-ups with that sort of wit.
Crazy.
But then we had quite a heartfelt conversation about male friendship, and then moved on to stand-up. But the serious stuff was a good departure from the saturated stand-up world of that kind of crap banter.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about coronavirus? Are you worried about it, or do you not give a shit?
No, I don't really. I back my constitution to see it off.
So that sounded like some sort of legal thing. No, I'm insured against it. Don't worry.
I think I've got good enough lungs to see it away, and I think if you are going to die of coronavirus, then something else might have got you soon. I mean, I don't know about corona. I know nothing about it. That's the thing. My opinion isn't important. The best thing about coronavirus has been Jurgen Klopp, the Liverpool manager's response to it, going, "Well, you cannot ask me." And telling the press to shut up and stop asking football managers about coronavirus politics.
Are you a little bit worried though about Liverpool and coronavirus and
getting cancelled?
Shutting down the league?
Oh my God!
Premier League getting cancelled. So just for context, Alfie is a big Liverpool fan.
I'm not worried about that yet, but then I find it quite hard to be worried about anything. I wonder if I'm worried about anything.
Does that worry you, though? The fact that you not really have any
No,
worries?
I'm very laid back about it.
Oh, okay.
Well, what could happen with coronavirus in the league?
Ladies and gentlemen, Horatio, our producer.
Hello.
Gould.
Yes.
What could happen with
Yeah,
coronavirus?
what is
they could terminate the league and league proceedings, or they.
But how many games before Liverpool win it outright?
For instance, in Italy, a lot of the games are now being played behind closed doors.
So they're not terminating the league; they're just playing them behind closed doors.
Well, they have postponed quite a lot of matches, but it would be a very shit winning the league if you had to do it behind closed doors.
I think
Just lift the trophy to the ground staff. Just
to a doctor there being like, don't touch the trophy all at once, okay? One at a time, and then the bacteria.
If Liverpool win the league and it's happened behind closed doors, good luck to whoever is control of city planning at Liverpool Council, trying to keep Liverpool fans off the streets, like French kissing each other. So I will let the city of Liverpool spit in my mouth when Liverpool win the league. I've waited for this for 30 years, and if I have to perish. Because actually, spitting in mouth, I'd probably die of something else before coronavirus. I'd probably get
so much herpes. It's unbelievable.
Herpes? Can you get herpes from somebody spitting in your mouth?
Yeah,
Tom, what do you think?
So.
I mean, Tom's the expert.
I think you can get herpes from. Well, it's like cold sores. That's technically a form of herpes, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, technically, it is herpes.
Yeah. So well, lots of herpes, but
anyway, I'm feeling quite.
Guys, we can't talk about herpes every week.
Horatio, how are you feeling about coronavirus?
Yes, once again, I think it still doesn't feel real yet. I need someone close to me to die.
They cancelled James Bond.
Before I start caring.
It's
They cancelled that 98 times already, haven't they?
Well, they've moved it. you know.
Where they moved it
They
to?
moved November as opposed
Isn't it
to...
called, what's it
Oh,
called?
okay.
Die.
No Time,
No
to,
time
die.
to die.
No time to
But they
die.
clearly have scheduled in a time to allow people to die off. And then,
Yes.
and then they're going to be like, well, they weren't going to come anyway,
Yeah.
so let's get the actual healthy people
Yeah.
in to watch this film.
Yeah, people keep on dying, don't they?
But it's good. It's good news, as I think you said last week, for things like Netflix. And
Oh, yeah, huge. They're the only... So, like, the stock market is absolutely tanked.
Takeaway
But gaming
places.
companies and Netflix, through the roof.
Yes.
But I was thinking, if it really...
Netflix and fever chills.
Yeah. If it really does go to shit, will Deliveroo... I imagine Deliveroo is the kind of company that will just, whatever happens, they'd get their drivers to dish out the food.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They'll put their drivers in, like, hazmat suits and, like, make them deliver.
Yeah,
like,
they
just
would.
Whatever it is, just get out there.
They'd
come
make
on.
so much
They give you-
profit though.
what?
It would be the best time.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Them.
If everyone had to stay inside for 2 weeks, Deliveroo would go through the roof. You can imagine they're probably prepping it right now. They're giving their drivers training. And
Yeah.
hazmat.
But do you know? Speaking of hazmat suits, do you know what happens if you think you might have corona, or if you've gone to somewhere where there's a lot of outbreaks? You drive yourself to the hospital, and you have to tell them you're coming. You drive yourself to the hospital. You stay in the car. You don't leave the car, and then someone in a suit comes out and gives
Sprays you with
and
disinfectant.
just blows up the car. No, they they give you a little swab
Yeah.
through the window, and
Yeah.
then you swab yourself. Then they take it back, and then they go in, and then you go home, and then you have to stay at home for the next 2-3 days, and then they give you the results.
It'd be great if it was the wrong car as well.
There's just someone waiting for their missus to come out, and then the hazmat guy comes out, swab now.
But genuinely, did you see the image yesterday in the Croydon Costco?
Why are
There
you
was
in the Croydon
No,
Costco?
there was videos of it that went online. They were spraying people with disinfectant as they were coming into the.
Yeah, but that's been
Croydon
going for
Costco.
years. That's nothing to do with Croydon. That's Croydon. That's been happening there.
They spray because apparently it was a mad rush. Everyone's stocking up on loo roll. My dad included. My dad.
Why
is
are they stocking up on loo roll?
just because they're gonna need it.
But I don't understand. Yeah, what?
Self-isolation.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
why loo roll?
I don't know. He's just
You
my
can't.
deli-
Can you
need
deliver
more-
Ulu?
You can do
Also, you
anything
can-
with it. Wipe your ass, throw it around. It's fun.
You wouldn't. You would.
You got to think like if you get like
All
a
I do
bad
is
fever,
fail.
you're gonna might have like a cold or.
No, you'd
coughing
also
or-
need loo roll to wipe your ass.
Also, Horatio, like, I've started doing this. I've started doing this thing, right? Like, don't use your hands. I've been
You
vague.
can't. You're better to use your hands. If you put your bum over the sink and then just wipe. Like,
dirty or
Or
dirty.
turn
man
it into
shower.
a bidet. Oh, I didn't say that right.
B-Day suit.
Bidet. A
Bidet.
bidet.
Alfie, come and wash yourself in the bidet. That's a more hygienic way to do it because you sloosh.
That's
Do you
the
use
technical
washlets?
term, yeah.
I mean, a washlet. They still have any washlets left in the supermarket?
What's a washlet?
What's a washlet?
I don't. Is that,
I'm not going near your bums.
Hey, look, wait, I haven't finished the podcast yet.
Because they're little kind of wet wipes, but you can flush them down the toilet. And you
Don't they
you
sting?
wipe your... Sorry?
Don't they sting?
The
It
opposite.
depends what your...
Opposite, what they make you feel fucking great.
Yeah, I'd like.
Depends on the acid alkaline content of your diet.
Right.
He's not wrong.
Okay.
you got to get on that washlet diet.
But also, the good thing about having children is that you get lots of Sudocrem hanging around. A little daub of that up the anus.
How old are your kids of an age to be potty trained, or are they not? there
They're
yet?
both potty... Well, no, they're not potty trained. We didn't bother with that. But they
Alright.
don't piss themselves
Just
in
went
the
straight
bath.
to the toilet.
Yeah.
Just-
You
Well,
just
just people...
let them
everybody...
work it
Like,
out.
people always go, oh, what's going to happen if we need to potty train them? We need to potty train them. Well, no, we don't. They will just stop pissing themselves because everybody does. We all...
Yeah.
Well, I assume.
But how old are they? Like 16?
No, they're 5 and 3. And,
they
an
just-
average
but at the
time...
start, did they just pissing in the room or?
Yeah,
the,
you just, take the nappy off, clean up the piss.
I've watched my brother's wife
Take a
die.
shit.
Piss herself.
Sorry, let's not change the topic, Tom.
Yeah.
Stay on this for a bit.
It's a whole thing.
Camera in the cleaner.
I saw you, Suzanne, with that man from your office. Stop cheating on my brother. Anyway,
Take the diaper
back
off.
to our guest.
No, I've seen her dive across the room to get her hands underneath my nephew like that because he has made the face, which is because he's
gonna
not been
shit
wearing his
myself.
nappy. Yeah, I'm going to shit myself. He'll be running and he'll just freeze. and then stop and go. And
What,
like,
did
if
she
it's
slide
not-
across the
She
floor?
literally,
She saved it. What a save.
yeah, it's a
Wow.
Over
Yeah.
cross.
Ben Stokes at work.
yeah.
And then
that's
threw it in
proper
the
mum.
air.
I had to make sure her leg didn't go out the boundary.
The Pizza Express waiter, it's out, and everyone's celebrating.
Gave it to a kid in the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's,
So they're just fine. They just sort themselves out, and
Yes.
Do you like having
they
them
don't
around?
sort themselves out. They're not feral punks.
that's how
but
you made them sound. I was like,
But they've just learned how to not piss themselves because
Okay.
you just remove the nappy and then they do a piss on the floor. They go, oh no, and then when they do a piss on the floor, you take them to the toilet and then they start associating piss with the toilet, and then they learn how to speak by that point. So they will say things like, need a wee. And will you come and wipe my bum, please? That melody was actually mine. I used to say that to my mum. Will you come and wipe my bum, please? And that was, every kid has their own will you come and wipe my bum melody. Do you remember yours?
no.
Okay.
So anyway, that was weird. No, of course not. Of course, that's completely normal. What do you mean a melody to your mum? As in, like, I don't remember anything.
Yeah, but your
My
mum
mum was very
wasn't, like,
angry.
Pre-16
No,
years old.
Yeah, she wasn't very. Yeah, she was very.
Pick it up yourself.
Yeah, literally. I used to. Well, I didn't talk for like the first 2.5 years. I think I didn't say anything. I just used to point at things and grunt.
Okay.
Isn't that what you do now?
Yeah,
Oh,
because I'm a
interesting.
fucking lad, mate.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't express myself.
Yeah.
I just used to
That's
go,
how you point out girls that you stalk. Just you.
That one. Anyway, do you like having kids? Has it made your life better, worse? What's going on?
Yeah, no, it has made it better. I mean, I have a lot more love in my heart, but also I'm
Oh.
a lot more tired. And
So
I can't...
Love in the heart, but generally sort of angry because you're tired.
Well, I mean, we were having a conversation that may or may not make it into the podcast about going to the gym, and I think it's quite a similar experience in that it is an exhausting, sweaty, loud nightmare which involves suffering, but you are reliably informed that it will be worth it later.
Right.
And that's how I feel about the process of child rearing. I mean, I feel an impossible amount of love and affection, and they have heightened the experience of life to a great extent. But at the same time, I do wonder how much better I would be doing in my career, or how much younger I would look if they didn't exist.
Right.
It is amazing how quickly they can age you. My brother went from looking like a young man to all his hair has just gone completely grey in a year. Just
Yes.
completely.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Like the
I've
Man
got a
United
lovely little
job.
kind of a
Yeah.
rogue stripe.
Is it
from X-Men.
tiredness?
Yeah, not sleeping ever.
What
Is
that
that
turns
it?
you grey?
Yeah,
It's
is it?
stress as well,
It's
isn't
not
it? It's
hormones or
yeah.
stuff.
I have
Is it-
absolutely no idea. I've never investigated it.
You get,
I don't
some
think
people go through
stress
trauma
helps.
and they
Yeah,
just and
stress,
their
yeah.
hair goes grey, man. But fuck, that's scary. But I think you wear the grey very well. That little
Thanks.
distinguished.
Silver fox.
Yeah, innit?
I think so as well.
And so once you, I feel like once you can start communicating with them and you know they start reacting to you as opposed to just being balls of mush who are sort of
How they start developing
Yeah, when you
personalities
see
and
sort of things come
conversations they
through.
like.
Yeah, I mean, actually, as a man, it's quite. I found the first year of their life quite difficult because your decoration, really, or you don't serve the child itself. It's not interested in you. It's interested in that big, milky tit, which I can completely understand. I was very intrigued.
That's not
as
a
well.
nice thing to call your wife.
But yes.
So then, when do you start coming into the frame? Are you still waiting to meet them?
No, as soon as they start kind of walking and talking, it's a lot more, and they can consciously acknowledge the existence of more than just a big milky tit, and indeed the owner operator of said milky tit.
She's been promoted. That's fun.
Yes. Yeah, it's a lot better and a lot more heartening experience.
Oh, sweet. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh. When are you gonna have kids, Tom? You're getting on.
You have a big,
Tom,
you
do you know how old-
have
do you know how
a
old
huge
it is?
fear of aging, though, don't you?
yeah, I've got a matter hate.
Do you know how? Well, do you know how old he is?
I'm 28.
He looks very good for how he. No, he's not. Tell him what you really are.
37.
He's 37.
Yeah.
Are you?
No, he's winding me up. I'm 28. Yeah, but like, well, how old were you when you had kids?
27.
27.
Well, I think that's a normal.
And was it planned or was it a surprise?
I had on January the 14th, January the 15th, 2014. I apologise. I had good. I had a one-night stand, and then I didn't see or speak to her again for 4 months. Then the day before my birthday, I was doing a gig in Derby with Tom Wrigglesworth, and he was on stage, and I received a succession of text messages from her, iMessages that I'm pregnant, it's yours, I'm not having an abortion.
Wow, text messages as well.
It's a boy, it's due October the 10th, and I'm calling it BAM. And
which was the worst part of the?
Well, immediately my first.
Were the heart reacts back then? Or?
Sorry,
no, it wasn't. Then. It was
blue tick,
2015. You can't.
No, it wasn't WhatsApp. Sadly,
a couple of smileys.
I assume you shared
One of those faces is just blank.
But a big thumbs up. The one we had to try.
She
and
actually then sent me a picture of the scan.
Wow, did you share it to your story?
Sorry?
It's 2015, Ali.
Instagram was around there.
Yeah, but I wasn't on it.
Oh, well, shame.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
know.
put it on your MySpace?
LinkedIn.
Between Facebook wall. You shared it. You wrote straight to her Facebook wall. Like, just got your text. Can't believe this.
Call me.
Yeah,
Call me.
exactly. And then people, your mate, going, "You okay? Want to chat?"
Yeah.
No, the first person I showed was my mum.
Did you do the gig?
She was on as well.
Had you been?
I'd been on, yeah,
Right.
so I
Oh,
found
so you
out
were- okay.
afterwards.
Oh, right.
And then the next day I had a birthday party, and Jessie came and briefly spoke to me outside.
And just
And
for
I
the
told her.
listeners, Jessie is the
Jessie's the mother of my children, yes. And yes.
And had you didn't have? Was it a proper one night stand? You met Jessie that night. You slept with her.
No. She was on in my venue in 2012, and we'd sort of spoken before. And then I organised a date with her on the Sunday. And that night I fucked a lovely woman. But
shout out! Yeah, if you listen to this, well done.
but I was quite drunk and she was sober, and my friends thought it was really bad that she went home with me. But I think I actually had an erection for it, so I can't have been that drunk. Was there a explicit icon on the podcast, by the way?
You what? No. Oh yeah, you can say.
can say
yeah,
erection.
You can say. Well, you just said fucked a couple minutes ago.
Did I?
I'm going to clip it up with the aubergine emoji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Erection
Big fan.
bell. So sorry. So you have your birthday the
Yeah.
next day. Jessie's there.
Yes. And then I tell her that I want to be involved and I want to be the child's father. Quite immediately, I think. I immediately. We didn't really have to think about it at all or weigh up what I. So what's really sweet is the night that I got back from Derby, I put the scan of the child up on my phone and put it on my pillow next to me and slept next to it.
Wow.
That's sweet.
Very tender.
Why were you so ready to accept the idea of being a father without any? Why do you think there's so little resistance of the idea of being a father with a one night stand, which to a lot of people might be quite shocking?
I think I would refer again to my being very easygoing, almost to a fault.
Yeah, just well, I'm a dad now.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
I mean,
Yeah.
The next chapter.
The
Here we
photo
go.
up on the pillow with "Don't worry, be happy" on the sun.
Was there no sort of internal terror or fear
for like
Or
that
even if she said she was aborting it, you'd be like, whatever, the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a dad.
I think I do remember thinking. Obviously, abortion is a fabulous conversation for four men to have in a room together. But
well, we can finally decide whether it's
yeah,
good or
Don't
bad.
worry,
What's the thoughts?
22-year-old
Let's
Horatio
settle this
Gould
now.
is huge on abortion.
but
Got lots of opinions.
My opinion on abortion is much like my opinion on Jamila Jamil in that it doesn't matter. I think.
What? I've never heard those two.
Well, no, that's
Are you aware
the,
of Jamila Jamil?
She
I know
is.
Jamila Jamil,
Yeah.
of course.
Lots of people have an opinion on her, and me, like most other people, my opinion on her does not matter. So,
Oh, is that what you're trying to get at? Okay.
yeah.
Or it's more that your opinion doesn't matter, not that she doesn't matter.
No, not that Jamila Jamil, I'm sure matters to somebody. She doesn't
Sure.
matter to me, but that's fine. Not everybody has to matter to
Have
everybody.
you had an online altercation with her?
No, never.
Oh, okay.
I'm blocked by Holly Willoughby, though.
Oh, what did you say?
I can't remember.
What? Oh.
I don't know. I
could've been-
realised
you must have done something to
I
get
know I must have done something, but I can't really
was
remember
the-
what it was.
yeah.
I think there was some like like a school shooting or something, and she'd gone, "Oh my god, totes emotion about that," and I'd gone, "Fucking grow up, you cunt," and then she blocked me or something. I think it was something like
arsehole.
that.
This
but
is
I
a
can't
wonderful
remember.
demonstration of your psychology in that you've gone from the listeners' hearts of finding out that you've got a child and having the little photo
To trolling Holly Willoughby.
to trolling
The
Holly
nation's
Willoughby
sweetheart.
about a school
But
shooting.
it was 2009, so trolling didn't exist then. There was just like, I mean, when people are on Twitter and they go, "Oh my god, so many people are in my mentions," yeah, that's what it's for. People reply to you. The whole system has been built around the fact that I've got something to say and you can respond to it or broadcast it to who follows you. It is a social form of media, but everybody with some degree of followers, I think, as soon as you get over 10,000, think, "You can't respond to me. This isn't the fucking point of the thing. It's just for me to emit my opinions to everybody and then everybody to eat them up and be grateful and shut the fuck up." No, it's a social form of media. Allow for the responses. Nobody should be able to be horrible, but lots of people are just trying to communicate and investigate the bottom of what they're saying.
So Holly Willoughby didn't get back to that message then.
No. But also, I would say, just for clarification, that I actually can't remember what I said to Holly Willoughby. Right. So I couldn't say with any reasonable amount of confidence whether or not it was a good thing or a bad thing. Now, were I a betting man, I would. The odds would be it was probably unreasonable, owing to the fact that I was a 21-year-old man and I didn't really have the most fully established sense of digital morality. I endorse Holly Willoughby's decision to block me, and I apologise to her for whatever it is I did. But
Is that exclusive?
that's it. That's a.
Well, Holly's a big listener. Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll cut all this. We'll just put it on.
We'll edit it so
Yeah.
you say "fuck Holly Willoughby."
I sent
Yeah.
a picture of my dick. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Didn't even respond. Frigid. Wow. Okay. So
I've never sent a dick pic.
No.
Have you ever sent a dick pic?
I've never sent a dick.
Have you never
pic.
sent a
It's
dick
too
pic?
small, but what
I
about Tom?
love
that?
that means yes.
Yes,
I like how
yeah.
Tom's trying to weigh
Yeah,
up.
no,
How do
yeah.
I say no,
Tom-
believe it?
I've had
Solicited?
long-term partners. Yeah. I had
Great, perfect.
Long-term partners who lived abroad.
Long-term partners who lived abroad.
You gotta
Gotta give them sugar.
Gotta do what
Yeah.
you gotta do. Yeah.
We're living in a post-airmail world, aren't
Exactly.
we? Where you can just
Bit of
Yeah.
send your dick instantly.
How
I sent
so
a
how did you
wanking
set
video
up?
once.
How did you set? You
Yeah,
set a
that's-
wanking. video.
Oh, that counts as a.
Yeah, that's
It's
way
not a
worse.
dick pic. It's a dick. It's not
a
worse.
dick
It's
movie.
better.
It's
That's
a dick
a
film.
dick film. Yeah,
if
feature
you had to
film.
have something come out,
Pure
and it was
cinema.
a dick pic or dick wanking video, I'm taking the dick pic every time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
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 Well, it depends how all the.
It was
wanking
requested.
So
Said,
so
"Can
how
send
did
me
you
a-"
how did you guys set up the shots?
Oh,
I'm
very
Googling.
drunkenly. I've got a terrible angle. It looks.
Oh, yours is like a
so
found
s-
footage
yeah.
one, is it?
Mine's great, by the way. I've only sent
Yeah,
one.
no one's interested.
So,
Rachel.
yeah.
Sorry. So
Mine
Tom,
had, sort of, like Beyonce has those fans, like that's.
so it was blowing. Your dick was blowing in the wind.
Yeah, that was the vibe.
Spike Lee actually directed
Yeah.
my wanking video.
yeah. It's all shot in black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Various-
I've got loads of famous contributors. I've got a Serge Eisenstein one. It's just me wanking over and over again in black and
Tom-
white.
the
It's
cum
the different
comes out.
angles as well. You got multicam on that.
The cum comes out and then sort of goes down and goes thin. And
Yeah.
then that's the end of the shot. Wow, you guys. No, I wouldn't be up for that sort of thing. My old girlfriend. I
no
don't know if
one
I've
wants
talked. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know if I've talked about this before. My ex-girlfriend wanted us to do a porno together to record it, but I was like, nah, I'm not, because I want to. That gets
You're
out.
pushing out your bicep for the camera.
Yeah.
And you're saying, I know, I'm actually very respectful to women. I've got huge biceps, but I'm very respectful towards
I
women.
can imagine you doing a porno playing a sort of like, I don't know, like a male boy or something, just sort of.
Are
like
you
a-
saying
a
I'm not the
cheeky-
guy having sex? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you'd be the sort of, the cheeky boy who watches in the corner or something.
Cheeky boy who watches.
Cheeky
Yeah.
boy who watches in the corner.
Oh, what a cheeky boy you are watching us
I
have
imagine
sex.
you with like a little hat or something. Little,
Yeah, no, Pete's the delivery boy, but he's getting fucked. He's not watching.
I'm getting.
It's not. No, you're definitely the fucker. The man.
Okay, if you want to see Tom's dick pic, then please follow us at AIDIF Pod.
Patreon.
You might have
Patreon.
to Patreon. Sorry, Patreon. Please donate to our Patreon page. You might have to zoom in, lol, but you can see it. Tom's dick pic on Patreon.
Yeah, we'll ask Alfie if he wants to submit his video as well for our subscribers. If you would like to do that, that would also be amazing.
I lost it. I lost all my WhatsApps.
Hard
I
drives.
smashed my phone. And they get to send me a new one, and WhatsApp doesn't back up.
Does it not?
No, so
Nightmare.
yeah, so I don't have that anymore. But we could try and
Well-
contact.
I thought you were
girl
gonna say we
right
could,
now.
I thought you were going to say we could recreate it, but
Yeah.
okay, cool.
No. Well,
no.
we've got my. Yeah. Okay.
Get something going. Okay, we are going to move on to fail of your life with Alfie Brown. Alfie, take it away. The floor is yours.
The fail of my life.
Actually, we've got to finish. Sorry, you've got to finish the story about the one night stand. I completely forgot that. We'll edit all this back thing in, but like that was super interesting. We went off a massive tangent. We've got to finish that because people are going to be going nuts if you don't finish it.
So we got up to you and her at your birthday. You saying you wanted to get involved.
Yeah.
Then we started going to scans together, and we fell in love. She has very long and thick hair, and it's very easy to fall in love with it.
She plats it, makes it stronger.
She plats it and makes it stronger.
Yeah, that's an upgrade plus 2 love on that.
I mean, I don't want to, but maybe we, Horatio is currently dating
Let's move on. Let's carry on with the one story at a time.
Sister. Partner's sister, ex-partner.
This is how we.
This is how the story ends.
Okay, yeah.
This is how we derailed the story in the first place.
Okay.
Sorry.
Then we, I was in Edinburgh that year in 2014, doing my show Divorced from Reality (and my wife). I had recently separated from my wife, hence why it was called that.
So you were married. How old were you married?
I was 25, I think, when I was married, and then 25 when I
See that
separated
very
from her.
easygoing attitude towards these
Yeah,
sort of
that's-
We're getting
Want to
married.
get married? Yeah.
and I would stress the aforementioned to a fault.
So you got divorced. You went out to Edinburgh to do the show. Had the one night stand.
Yes.
All in the same year?
Then a quite pregnant Jessie, the partner, the mother of the children, the pregnant person, was up there in a much nicer flat owing to her superior income. I would go out every night and get quite drunk, and then I would come back to her flat and wake her up, and we'd have good pregnant sex.
Good old-fashioned pregnant sex.
It's got a lot to recommend it. And then I wanted to tell her I loved her, but I didn't.
Didn't want to move too fast. Kid first. Well, that's the big thing. Let's have the kid, and then we'll see.
Those 3 words mean a lot.
It's
so.
great life, and then I don't know. Let's have brunch or something.
That is the thing with it. So we then the child was born. I think that Liverpool had just lost to Ludogorets in the Champions League, I think, and we.
So it was a shit day.
It was a shit day. She'd been at a premiere or something, and her waters broke at the premiere, and anyway, we went to the hospital together. Anyway, we couldn't get in because she wasn't dilated enough. She was just so we just went out to Ballons and had eggs whilst she slowly leaked. And then we went to Jessup's to get passport photos done.
Eggs, very topical, very nice. I like the style, yeah.
Because we needed to get passport photos done for the paternity test, because she had also fucked somebody else on the Sunday and me on the Wednesday. So we weren't sure if it was mine.
But
so my
she
mum
said
was,
she knew. But she
well,
said you were the
yeah,
father.
because the other guy.
Can you not do a paternity test while?
No.
Yeah.
You need to swab the child's mouth.
Oh, really?
okay.
Yeah.
I thought
you could do it,
Yeah.
No, you can't. I mean, I think you can now, but maybe you couldn't then, or it's slightly more dangerous. Or
Wait, so
for whatever reason.
while Jess was giving birth, were you still not fully letting yourself?
Again, I would refer you to my easygoing nature.
Was the other guy there?
Oh,
Was the other guy
my
there as
beautiful
well?
son. It's not your son. Oh, okay.
No, the other guy.
Whoops.
The other guy
was noticing. My mum was very, very worried about it and said, "What if it's not yours? What if it's not yours?" And it's a bizarre conversation to have with your mum to say, "Mum, please don't worry. The other guy came all over her back." Which was information I had to give to my mum, and that's true. So I felt fairly sure that because I knew
You're quietly confident. You came in the right place. You know what you're doing.
I left it in for
Bloody idiot on the back. Never get pregnant that way.
almost an impolite amount of time. I stayed in her side for.
Yeah.
Was she off the pill? Sorry, no, go on.
She was not on a pill.
Did she not tell you? Or?
No, she said
was
that she said that she had polycystic ovaries and therefore was, in all likelihood, not able to conceive a child.
Fair play.
This proved in
Super
the
sperm rocks up. Mate.
in the fullness of time to be absolutely untrue.
Yeah, that is
Oh,
some
you
sort
just,
of
you
16 and pregnant logic right
You
there.
impregnated her.
Like,
She's got normal ovaries, has she? Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Anyone can do that, pal. This guy is swimmers, mate.
But again, you're sort of like in this like meh attitude. You were just like, okay, yeah, fine, I believe you.
Yes, and anyway, we're still 99% sure that the child is mine. Given a piece of paper sent from Middlesex Hospital or something, whatever it was. So we potted around for a little bit, got those passport photos done. I'll tell you the full story as it exists in a performance state. She gave me a blowjob, which is a bizarre thing.
What, like once or just?
Whilst she was, it's a bizarre thing to let some people know that your girlfriend gave you a blowjob whilst she was in labour with your child. It's very hard to tell you that without me coming across like the bad guy.
But with context, do you think it's completely understandable and reasonable?
Well, I think what was I supposed to do when she moved her face closer to my belt buckle? Say,
She's
no,
pregnant.
this might make me look bad in a story one
That's
day.
true.
No, you really were the gentleman.
Yeah.
Can't reject a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
So anyway,
especially as you're demanding it.
She's having a tough time as it is.
well, she that's what she.
But I'll
wanted
raise it if you give me a blowy when you're ready. You did say that earlier, so we'll just cut that in. But
yes.
wow,
yeah.
okay, so that's happening.
Yeah,
and you're
we went to
thinking,
UCH afterwards.
You're still thinking Liverpool lost, fuck's sake. But
I'd actually managed to get over it by that point. It was still early enough in the group that I thought we might come good.
Yeah,
we did not.
ludicrous means early.
Non, je ne regrette rien.
Ludogorets isn't Champions League quarterfinal.
Non, je ne regrette
Or
rien.
Europa semis.
We then had a great time. The baby came out dead initially because it was something called.
This story is whoa.
Because it was something called Stuck in the Birth Canal, which even at the time I thought, great band name.
Yeah.
If it ended up dead and that was your fail, and that's all I do.
It was dead!
And it was dead.
First fail.
No, but they
But I got a blowy, so jobs
But
are
my
good.
biggest fail was this gig I did.
they stuck it underneath this red like heating thing where they kind of cook your baby back to life, and they
An incubator.
stick a
Baby
yes,
oven,
thank you very much. No, it wasn't quite like that. And they stick a tube down its throat and pump him back up and whatnot. And
And how are you feeling when that's going on?
I again felt very relaxed about it.
You're just nudging people going, oi, but never get this, just got a blowjob.
Liverpool lost, but,
What am I like, mate? Did you see that earlier? Fucking, what was he doing? Coutinho's useless.
Yes, but Jessie was quite het up about the situation, as you can imagine. So I actually quite quickly took a photo of the child alive and then showed it to Jessie. Jessie was too fucked on drugs to hold the thing immediately, so I had to take off my top and hold the baby against my chest. And I was thinking, thank God you're alive, thank God you're alive. Had you died, that blowjob would have been in such bad taste. And that's
It would have been something you had to take to your grave with you.
yeah. That's the end of the story anyway. But I did
Tell the story of
I did also. I told her I loved her the next day. I went to Basaba Itai, got us a takeaway, and told her I loved her just after the birth of the first child, which, as you've already mentioned, is a bizarre order to do things in. But
well, Bazaar was after the love you. So
yeah,
not
well,
normally,
I think buying Busaba Itai very much communicates love.
yeah,
even if
that's
the
it.
words
She already knew.
themselves-
You walked in the door. She was like, I know what's coming.
Yeah, that's salt and pepper
She was
squid.
like, I wasn't sure with the
That's
baby.
salt and pepper
Nothing
squid.
says love like a chain. That's,
Yeah. Yeah. It's gone downhill recently,
Wow.
I'd say, but
It has.
well, like all chains, you have to start revolutionary different. Like
Yeah.
Casa Burritos in Victoria, are you fucking kidding me? When that came in, it was amazing. But as soon as they've taken those spaces across London, all the stations, then they just start measuring out the portions,
Yeah.
the pork shit,
It's like
start
the
charging
Breakfast Club.
£1.50 for guac. You can
Yeah.
fuck off, mate.
Well, you don't want to touch the pork too much because you don't want to get coronavirus. It starts at the pig and it's an unclean animal. So you
Religiously
really want to
speaking.
listen to your local imam about that. Yes. Yeah. When do you stop supporting a small business? At what stage
Sorry.
is the right stage?
when there's over three, if it's a chain, we're talking chain restaurants here.
Yeah.
I think when it becomes that there's over three of them, it's no longer. That's when it sort of becomes a chain. And for me, I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's like the
Do you
breakfast.
endorse that message,
I
Horatio?
endorse it. I endorse
The
it.
Breakfast
No,
Club
that's
started as a
right.
great little restaurant in Hoxton Square. You know, really good,
The
fun
quality goes
breakfasts.
downhill.
Now, trash. Honestly, garbage.
You know
I don't
Bill's?
care.
That's
Couldn't
from my
pay me to eat
hometown.
there.
I don't care.
Bill's is from. I thought
No,
it was
neither
from-
do I
It's from
really.
Lewis, and there was the
I
only
mean,
one there. It
I'm
was
not
great
gonna
for 20 years. Then they started chaining it, and it's utter shite.
Take me
now.
to Pret.
Yeah.
Take me to Pret.
What a wank institution.
So I appreciate this is an important conversation, but you had your first child then. How was the second one? Was that a lot?
Was it
Well-
did a lot
more
happen in
chill?
between?
Was it
first
she
and
just
second?
tossed you off this time? What happened?
Given that was actually a lot. I found that a lot more traumatic because Jessie decided to do it without an epidural, which meant she was in pain and she kept on like going kind of mad with the pain as people do. It's really the most incredible thing
But-
to watch take place. What?
I was just going to say, between the first and the second, was there a loving relationship that all worked out and marriage?
Yeah, there was a very loving relationship that worked out. We're not married,
Okay.
but we do. And also, she's such a good mum that when she said, I sort of thought it would be a good idea, and I back myself and endorse this decision of my own. And she said she wanted to have another child, and I think she's such a great mum that even though being realistic about it, you must take on the idea that not all relationships last forever. I thought I love my son enough, and I love her as a mother enough to think, yeah, that's a good idea to have another child. I'm quite happy for that to be my family, and then I'll just do the kind of the older comedian thing of breaking up and trying to fuck everyone I know.
Yeah, no joke there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's,
I mean that. But I mean,
Impressive numbers,
We
though,
and then we
from what I've
did
heard.
have the second child. Then we did break up for 2 years, and I did try and fuck everyone I know, and then we got back together. But I think the thing is that like whenever I speak to another couple or a couple, and they go, well, we're just going to have a little bit of time for us, and then we're going to think about starting a family. And I always kind of got quite jealous of everybody having a little bit of time for them. I'd go, fuck, never had any time for me and Jessie to get to know each other. So we sort of had to redate, and now we're back together and expecting triplets. No, that's not true.
I was going to do a big bit of confetti.
Do you have a
Yeah.
zoom in on my face? Bum bum bum.
So you
Got
So
that
many
really
AIDIF exclusives
triplets.
tonight.
yeah. So have you been doing the redating thing? When did you get back together? How long have you been back together now?
A
Was it
year?
a year?
Yeah.
What was the first date then? Back to Basava.
started.
Our old stomping ground,
Yeah.
where
Maternity
we did all
ward,
that
it was lovely,
stomping.
yeah.
No, I don't really know. It was sort of just a gradual process. We maintained a friendship that was. I mean, we saw each other every day. It was a very bizarre thing.
Keeping it casual.
Yeah.
Could I ask why did you break up?
Couldn't stand the bitch.
Fair.
Don't talk about your child. like that.
We broke up because it's very difficult to be somebody's co-parent and lover at the same time, especially when you haven't established the relationship and given it the firm footing in the world of dating. I think when you do something as difficult and strenuous as raising 2 kids who are both babies without the kind of, remember when we went to Florence and had that amazing time eating all that gelato together, and you've just got, remember when we fucked and immediately had a family and it was a nightmare. So
It's not the best Valentine's Day card. Is it?
and I mean, it wasn't a nightmare, and there was brilliant things, but we didn't have that sort of foundational dating thing. So we had to sort of start again from scratch and kind of grow into it.
Did you live together immediately when you had the child?
Kind of, but not really. She lived with her family, and I lived in a flat. But I spent most of my time in that flat with her family.
Okay, right. Fair.
There you are.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
hell of a
we
ride.
live together in Shepherd's Bush now, and they both go to school, and we very happy. We've got a car. It's a Peugeot 3008.
Oh, mate, don't show off.
No, I'm not showing off. I'm just telling you the way it is, mate. I'm telling you the way it is. Okay, if it sounds like showing off to you, then
Yeah.
great. But I'm just saying,
I'm saying the facts.
telling you how it is, telling
Yeah.
you the fucking the details.
This is kind of like an amazing, lovely story. Like it's all.
It
worked
is an
out.
amazing, lovely story, and well, it's for now, yeah.
Yeah.
But I could go to Leeds tonight and die. so let's
That
not
nonchalant
It's
attitude coming back out.
Yeah, no worries.
let's not count our chickens, you know.
Yeah.
No, it has all ended very very nicely. and it is brilliant. But you'd like a story about when I failed?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I did have some thoughts around this, and
That's great.
yeah, I mean that's ideally what you want
That's
people to
good-
do, isn't it?
Good prep. Yeah.
And I suppose the I don't know. I mean, I think you always learn so much from every failure that you encounter, but I suppose the worst thing I ever did was fall out with not the worst thing I ever did, but the worst. I mean, I suppose I cheated on a previous girlfriend. That's a failure of
Yep.
monogamy.
That's one we've had on before, which is people have different reactions. The guest we had on before wasn't very remorseful.
We had Rich Wilson.
Oh, Rich was
very
very
remorseful. And
remorseful.
then we had a guy, and he was like, I was like, "What's your biggest failure?" And he went, "Well, I got caught."
Yeah. No, but he prefixed it. He was like, I lost the girl I really liked. And we're like, oh, that's so bad. How was that? I got caught. Okay.
Yeah.
Little less.
She caught me with my side
She
chick.
caught- yeah, innit? Yeah. And it's just
His
Side
words.
side chick.
Side
Yeah,
chick,
his words,
yeah.
not ours. Yeah.
so.
I'm not really sure that. Well, can you pull that off?
What?
Or I could pull it off.
What
Side
happened
chick.
with you?
Side chick.
What happened with you then in terms of this? Who are you with at the time?
I
Or
was
like, it doesn't have to be names, but is it, what was it? Committed relationship.
I was in a relationship, and we've been together. But I think it's difficult when you're like 20 years old. Anyway, I slept with somebody else, and then immediately I told my friend about it while we were watching the boxing the next day after a rather boring FA Cup final in which Chelsea routinely beat Everton. Do you remember that one?
No, I think Everton knocked.
Yeah,
I think Everton knocked us out in the semi-final and knocked Man United out in the semi-final, so I wasn't
Well,
interested.
You're a
Everton
Manchester
wearing
United fan.
They had quite a nice pink away kit, I remember.
Sorry?
Everton wearing quite a nice pink away kit.
Couldn't have been wearing blue, yeah. I suppose couldn't have been wearing blue. So the FA Cup final was boring, but you
What was
had
the context
just
of
done,
which you
yeah, like how did
slept
this?
with this girl?
How long had you been with this? How long had you been with the girlfriend for?
3 years.
3. So yeah, serious.
I had just gotten an advert, so I rang her up at 4 a.m. after the boxing because it happened in Las Vegas.
This doesn't sound like a fail at all.
And,
No, but you weren't in Las Vegas, though, were you?
I wasn't in Las Vegas.
Oh,
I
okay.
was at home in bed watching it at 4 a.m. She was in LA because she sometimes worked over there. But what I mean is that I had enough money disposably immediately to purchase a plane ticket to Los Angeles.
Right.
We had a long conversation about it. I remember crying so hard I vomited. Amazing.
Wait, so sorry. So you're in a relationship with this girl. She's in Los Angeles. You
Rang
one
her
night
up and told her.
You told her,
Yeah.
but you bought a flight ticket as well.
And she said, yeah, if you want to save the relationship, then you have to fly to LA now. And I went, right, you are.
Wow. Wait, who was the girl that you slept with? Just some rando on a night out?
Yes, yeah.
That didn't
yeah.
sound like a
No,
convincing
no,
yes.
that sounded like
she-
every
I mean,
time
You
that's
knew
right.
her before, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, it's
Her
quite
sister.
hard to kind of quantify these things. I mean, yeah, she was random that night, but I had seen her before. Anyway,
Did you have feelings for her then, or was it just you just wanted to?
well, off the back of this, I'd been acting kind of quite bizarrely for a number of months. And the interesting thing, which I think, if anything, is worth investigating, is the subsequent diagnosis of bipolar disorder. Because I think you can...
Excellent art of deflection here from Alfie Brown.
Well, no, but that is what it is. It is the excellent art of deflection. Are you in your... Because, I mean, I did loads of mad shit on these and would sort of cry in the day and then brag in the night. Lots of these things that are quantifiably called bipolar disorder and diagnostically are appropriate in terms of what you would term bipolar disorder. But how much ownership does that... are you allowed to let go of your bad behaviour? Because my girlfriend at the time, she was very keen to find a diagnosis or find something, or that made it less painful for her as well. We were both looking for something external to ourselves to lay the blame on. That's what I think is really interesting about it. So we found bipolar disorder, and I mean, by all means, it makes sense. The way I did mad stuff. I mean, I broke into the soap awards after party, told everybody my name was Rupert, spent £280 at the free bar, and then got in a fight with some city boys afterwards, and then slept on the street.
Wow. How did you spend 280 quid at a free bar?
Well, I wonder that as well.
I don't think it was a free bar. That was
It was a free bar.
They kept giving me drinks for free.
Drinks,
All I had to do was give them
I
this
think the
cash.
thing was, or the reason why it was impressive, or indeed worth, not impressive, but worth remarking upon, but also impressive, was because I drank the free bar out and then spent another. But I think I spent a lot of that on drinks for other people. I think I got off with the guy who writes Coronation Street, any road.
It was has
Wow, what
addiction been?
Sorry?
Has addiction been an issue for you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think addiction is a. Yeah, that could
Alcohol
be.
abuse. Is it?
Yeah, a lot more. I mean, addiction is such a. I was on the train the other day to a gig in Bristol, and this guy opposite me just finished work. He took his name tag off, and that sort of tossed it on the table, and then just slumped there, not doing anything. He wasn't reading a book or listening to headphones or anything. He was just looking out the window, drinking some successive ciders. Obviously, train to Bristol. And that seems like alcohol. I sort of thought I could be like that. I can imagine that the human species doesn't tolerate too much reality, so it does to kind of get outside that. And I do like the lowering of the volume on one's internal monologue when you drink, and I find that to be. And I also feel much more like myself. And a much better version of myself. I'm an excellent person to go for a pint with, and indeed good at imbibing them. And the night that
What does imbibing mean? Sorry?
Taking in drinking.
Oh, right.
So yeah, I do have a problem with alcohol in that I'm excellent at it.
So you're good at it.
Sort of social security blankets with, allows you to be a sort of freer, better version of, well, you perceive yourself a freer, better version while drinking.
Yeah.
So you question yourself a lot then when you're not, so when you're sober, there's just a lot of second guessing in your head, or?
I heard the other day, do you think this is true? Do you know if it's true? That only 15% of people don't have an inner monologue?
Only 15%
That's a ridiculous thing
don't.
to try and even attempt to survey.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. But I heard it and I'm fascinated
But
by
did you hear
the
it from
idea.
someone in your own
Yeah.
head or something like
No,
that?
but I
What
just,
does
it was someone's external
What does
to my
an
skill.
monologue mean? Is it thoughts?
I suppose that's hard to quantify or qualify. And it's that thing of, like, I suppose you have, well, I have a voice in my head that tells me to burn things. No, it's but I suppose there must be someone, because those people who just, they treat life as just like everything, they react to it immediately as it is. They got
and they're so
they're in the moment all the time. And I can imagine that. So 15. So was that like 1 in 6, 1 in 7 people just living their life?
I know one of those people. My friend is just like the most robust individual ever, and just everything is just takes it as it comes and just doesn't worry. Never worries, never overthinks, never.
The inner monologue is stewing over things with yourself, and because it's not like it's thoughts. We have like, oh, what time's that train? It's not like thoughts like that.
Do you never have that when you go out on dates? I think more than anything else. But when you're the voice in your,
I'm a cunt. I'm a stupid little fucking shit.
No, that's like what we say on the podcast.
Yeah, that's sort of.
Yeah, but stuff like that, or not that, but okay. Well, there's a. Why don't you think of something to say? Think of something to say. Oh my God, this huge space, this chasm of silence, this looming vast. What a boring encounter this is. Oh my God, we're definitely not going to have sex. Oh dearie, dearie me. Jeans. You can't mention jeans. Why are you mentioning jeans? Mention the pour or snow. Oh my God. And then you can't. That's too loud to.
Yeah.
But then you can this is why I would always have a good number 2, the perfect number of pints before a date.
Before
yeah.
even meeting the person.
So you have 2 pints on your own.
So you lube yourself up.
Yes.
And then lose your way down.
No, that's
I wouldn't do
2
that.
pints on your own before you go meet someone.
I can imagine you with like a pen shotgunning a
Yeah.
cat.
That's 2 pints outside the pub.
And then she meets you halfway through one. Hello.
Sorry, I'll be with you in a second.
That's such a
Two's
shame.
the
That's
perfect
your
number.
second good mime of the podcast.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Yeah, that's a shame.
But so I can imagine that,
Thank you.
One in 6 or 1 in 7 just don't have, I don't know whether you call it like cognitive thought or they no longer whatever, but they're just like, oh, it's a water bowl, oh, it's a mic, oh, it's a thing. And they're just reacting to stuff in their head, but they're not going,
So
oh,
this
God,
person
weird?
on a date on something that's like highly intense socially, because imagine like train times and things like that are two.
But I think you're.
What are they thinking about?
No,
are they just like
they're just in the moment.
They're just
I
going,
just think,
I'm feeling good.
you know, when you hear about people who don't have anxiety, I think those are the people.
But what's your point with
having
this, though?
anxiety? I don't
everyone
understand.
has anxiety. Come
That's
on.
like-
I feel like the internal monologue. Like if you don't have,
having anxiety.
surely you need an
the
internal monologue.
possessive of something of a
Even the
fleeting
Buddha,
emotion. It's
the
like
Buddha at the height of Nirvana was a bit anxious. I still think.
He was like, do I look fat?
Yeah, he's just.
His robe's a bit wispy.
Yeah.
Whenever they make
He's
little
like,
busts
he's like,
of me,
maybe we should wear a toupee.
the Chinese really think I was very fat. I wasn't bald.
But what is your point with this? Is that what you're saying, that your inner monologue is almost deafening?
I'm not saying that I'm different or special in any way. I'm just saying that
Go on.
that's my sort of experience in that.
So drinking helps to just turn it down the volume a little bit.
I love it.
Right. Have you tried it? Does anything else do it like that? Or
But
is
do
it
you
just
not have a
drink?
different internal monologue?
Well, let me just do
Yeah.
Does anything else do that? Or is it just drink? Like help you live
Nothing
in the
that
moment?
I've never had any drugs.
To help you live in
I
the
don't
moment
know.
or something, like when you're hanging out with a certain person, when you're
Well,
doing
I've
a certain activity. When you're watching Liverpool, you must not be there going, oh God, I hope this shirt is okay and stuff. You must be just going, shoot, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, maybe.
Because that's what I feel when I'm watching United, because I go to the games, and in there, it's great of having 2 hours of just, I'm not in control of anything that's happening on the pitch, apart from I can just support it. So it's quite nice to sort of be out of control and not be questioning things, and just to be able to live watching this for 2 hours, and that's what I quite like about football. Do you have that with Liverpool or not?
Yeah, I think I absolutely do. But at the same time, it's often an experience that is coupled with drinking. I mean, I'm going to the game on Saturday. That's at 12:30. So.
So you better wake up early to get them 2
Get
pints
it?
in.
Yeah. Well,
You'll be sitting opposite that dude with the ciders.
how I come across.
But to the point of drinking a bit, do you ever feel like it's gone too far and you've had to check yourself and be like, this is getting...
Well, I constantly feel like it's gone too far, or that, and also I'm one of those people that's blessed with the cure for my hangovers is a good, rich, thick pint. And nothing will see me through like that. So when I get into a cycle, I'm just sort of cyclically boozing.
Has it ever been a problem for people around you? Has people ever had words and been like...
Well, yes,
This is-
constantly,
yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yeah. In that my girlfriend and the mother of my children doesn't like how much I drink.
Yeah.
And neither have any of my previous partners.
Yeah.
But they're probably just all wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it's what I call Colonel Gaddafi syndrome. If you're the only one in a room that doesn't think you're a cunt, you're a cunt. So I can only deduce from what people have said that I think I must have a slight issue with drinking. And I know I do, but I want to control it. Also, I wish I could be one of those people that drink in a kind of healthier way. But
Glass of wine or something like that. Not.
what I mean, pints are fine. It's not the substance specifically.
Not
It's
all
the
watching our figure.
No, but I suppose
the sheer volume.
Yeah. Well, but by just saying pints instead of a pint suggests that pint leads on to pints. Whereas
Yeah.
if you
But
pour yourself a glass.
A pint is quite a strange.
Well,
serving.
exactly.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Well,
there's
we had a comedian called Max KH on who has
Who?
Max KH.
Oh, yes, okay.
So
Sorry.
he's done all sorts of manner of things when he's been pissed, like to crazy extent, and he says he's had to give it all up. But now he's worked his way back up to being able to have 1 pint.
Or is it two? I thought it was 2. You can
No,
have
it's one pint. It
that's
means he tries different beers and stuff, but he just has this one and drinks it slowly and all that. And yeah, you don't have to do any of that. But it's just interesting to see where this comes from. I mean, going back to the LA story, like you flew out to LA for this girl, and then Didn't save it, I guess, or
Yeah, it did.
Slept with someone else while you were
went
there?
out with.
and then everyone's so fit. It's amazing. It's like gorgeous. I mean, when I saw her in that context, fucking hell.
No, she's a lovely looking woman. She looks like Nick Cave, but is fit. Isn't that weird?
That is weird. Well, every girl wants to be.
So like the girl
described
from The
as,
Matrix, what's her name?
Trinity. Yeah.
No,
Sort
much
of.
more like Nick Cave than that.
Oh, okay. Right. So you flew out to see her.
Yeah, and I got drunk on the plane. I hadn't slept since the boxing. I got the plane like at 8 a.m. Like so 4 hours afterwards. I managed to get a plane almost immediately, but I didn't have a visa, so I had a single ticket to America with no visa and didn't know where I was staying or how long I was staying for.
Those border immigrant are tough as well when you go into.
And I
America.
got to immigration,
The
and this
Esters and
tiny
that.
little woman said, hello. And I looked like a kind of heroin addict, all pale and skinny and drunk, and with my hood up. And she said, hello. Hello, how long are you staying for? I don't know. Can you give me the address of where you're staying? No, I don't know where I'm staying. What's the purpose of your visit? And I went to say sorry, and she went, okay, straight through you go.
Wow.
And I immediately let me through. I wonder if I'm so was so pissed that I misremember that. But I genuinely didn't know where I was staying or have a return flight.
But
she
believed,
must have just.
She believed you were here to say
So
sorry
desperate.
to
I'm
someone.
You're
not sure
such
whether
a
she was
sorry
just trying to
state.
avoid an awkward conversation, going, "Oh my fucking Christ, okay, go on, in you get." Or somebody this pathetic obviously isn't going to terrorise.
The Obama years, huh? Very different.
Was it even? Was it?
It was 2009, wasn't it?
It
Oh,
was
then,
the.
yeah,
It was
just
the.
when
It
he
was
came
the.
in.
It was the. Yeah.
So you get to LA. You go. You I assume bring her, get her address.
Yes. We had a firm and frank set of discussions over the over the week.
over what? Like,
Oh, I didn't actually.
that sounded like it was going to be
I tell you
over the plot of land we were going to invade.
Yes, they were very amiable and constructive discussions, and we agreed that we would stay together, and I wouldn't drink, and I didn't drink for 2 years. But we broke up after it.
Oh,
We broke
how'd
up
you find
after we broke up after a year.
And you
But
had a
I,
good
but, I,
bye.
but I stayed not drinking.
How did you find that? As someone
How
who
did I find not
loves
drinking?
Lubricating themselves.
I found it interminable. I found it quite boring.
But it shows a lot of discipline that you like that kind of sadistic kind of pain of abstaining.
I didn't like it. I just felt like I sort of owed it to the universe or her or something.
Life does get boring. But you are correct. That's the.
But I didn't want to stop going out, so I would kind of hang out with everybody till 5 a.m.
Oh, would you be the Red Bull
sober.
guy?
I was. I had something called Captain's Tonic, so I'd have pints of tonic water with lime in it. And,
Back them down.
and hammer them down. There was no chance of me getting malaria, that's for fucking sure. And then, 2 years later, I was watching Tottenham versus Bolton on BT Sport at home. And Fabrice Muamba's heart burst on the pitch. And I went, ooh, I need a pint. Yeah. And went to the pub with my friend Henry, and we had 8 pints of Guinness. And I've drunk every day since. I haven't drunk every day since, but I have drunk ever since.
Wow, that's
It'd be quite good to stop for 2 years again. I looked fucking fantastic.
I did dry
Yeah.
January.
Is it because it's alcohol really fucks you up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is that all very true?
I had clear eyes and a 6-pack, and I was boring as shit.
Does it take
I
out
tell you what,
the
and
clearness of the eyes?
In that like single period after I broke up with, I just couldn't for the life of me enjoy casual sex, because casual sex sober, I mean, you've got to be a serial killer.
Yeah.
And I didn't like doing that. So yeah, I found that very, very difficult. But was in great shape, best shape of my life, looked great. But then, as a single man who drank, looking far worse and more tired, and with the kind of alcohol's layer of fat that it gives you, much easier to fuck about.
Yeah. Well, stopping drinking at the sorts of thing. I did dry January this year, and the first thing everyone said was just like, it's your skin that gets real good. Like your skin just
really?
instantly gets so much better. There's something in alcohol that like ruins your blemishes up your skin and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's being dehydrated.
Is there specific types of alcohol that you can avoid this, or if you hydrate beforehand?
Yeah, if you just
I
have,
feel like we're kind of enabling you slightly.
Yeah.
just tequila, mate, shot it
Yeah,
every
yeah.
hour, you'd be all right.
Focus aim and lime on my vape, and I'll be sweet.
That's it, yeah.
So I need any problem.
Wow.
Is there any other fails you wish to share before we leave?
Do you have a worst gig?
Yeah.
Or a gig that sticks out?
Is
in
that
your
what
head?
you wanted? Shit, I really
No.
overshot, didn't I?
We
just want to light
story. Listeners, we normally get people on sort of chat about when they messed up a joke, but we've had quite the chat with Alfie Brown.
No, I've never had a bad gig.
Smashed it. It's done.
Every single one.
I mean, yeah, I've had bad gigs, but that's, haven't we all?
Anything like notable? Surely.
Did only
you-
stick
like,
out where
on the
like there
road?
was maybe a
Someone tried to fight you,
confrontation,
or-
or that you thought all my jokes are shit. I've never written a joke or anything like that. Or
Things thrown at you.
I'm quite well. No, but I'm always. I mean, I'm quite good at bombing on stage.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier about somebody who thinks that you need to avoid that at all costs, and about the embrace of having a tough time on stage towards the pursuit of some sort of artistic truth. And I had a friend who went to Gaulier, and I, think it's all very good fun to take the piss out of Gaulier, but also think that lots of brilliant people have come from there, so they must be doing something right. And also, it's obviously probably pretty good clown school, isn't it? So worthy of some sort of respect, albeit it's fun to take the piss out of people who take themselves seriously. There's a balance to be struck. My friend who went there said, Daniel Simonsen, you ever met that guy? He said, man, the thing that you learn in the Gaulier is that you have to learn to love your torment. Learn to love your torment, because then it can no longer hurt you.
that's a spot on Daniel Simonson, by the way.
Thank you.
Did Simonson go to Gaulier himself?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
He's
I didn't know
just
that.
from Surrey. He puts it all
Yeah,
on
hold
for
on.
this is my clown, but really I am from Oxshott. So he said that, and me and him did loads of gigs together at one time. We did lots of, we got booked in. We had the same agent, so we got booked in like these work in progress gigs, and then would on our way back listen to the gigs and listen to other comedians and talk about how they constructed the jokes. And the main thing that we were both trying to pursue was to bin the material that worked, to try and learn how to create something better. And I think there's such value in dying to be able to, or dying on stage rather, bombing, whatever you want to call it, to create yourself, a better version of yourself on stage. You strip away all these kind of layers that you use to hibernate and comfort yourself with, and you're left when you're dying on stage with a more authentic version of what you are, which will resonate with an audience more, which will create a more complete sense of you as a comedian, and it will a more enjoyable experience for the audience, a more fulfilling version of yourself. So when I was dying on stage, I would always try and live in it rather than just go through with my set. Also, I don't want to do my jokes that I've heard get laughs before and hear them just fucking flounder in wet shit. It's gonna make me lose my confidence in them or kick me out of the rhythm of them. So I would just go, right, well, I'm not doing any of that, because why bother doing a joke that I've written and hearing it play to silence when I can just sing Surrey with a Fringe on Top from Oklahoma and have it get the same laughs, if not more. So I would just do whatever and talk to them about why it was. It's so unfortunate that you don't like this. So people would really. So I failed quite heroically and often, but it made me so much better in the long run. And now I, touch wood, fail fairly rarely. But I mean, I still have shit gigs.
But have you not had like a one that stays with you, like you've been on like
PTSD
12
moment,
years?
yeah.
Have you not even been back in
In
the
his
early days where
tummy.
you just like, even if it's a bomb that you feel is constructive, surely there's one which was.
Well, the most recent one is always the one that stays with you, and that was in Liverpool, a Christmas gig in the Something Mad Hall, and I was it's a Saturday. I was doing 5 gigs for Hot Water, so early show downstairs, early show upstairs, big hall, late show downstairs, late show upstairs. And all of the ones at the actual Hot Water Comedy Club were perfect and brilliant, like they always are. But the one in the Grand Central, I think it was called, was... First of all, I got somebody shouted out, "We can see your fucking white socks, lad." And I went, oh, is that a problem? I went, yeah. And then I went, oh, well, why? And it's like a thing in Liverpool. You know, if you've got white socks, you're a loser. Or, you know, at school, you know.
Christ.
Yeah, I know. We're both in a bad...
You guys.
Fuck.
I'm going the game tomorrow. I'm going to have to
Yeah.
peel down my trousers. And then somebody shouted out Jufro, and the sound was quite bad. But last time I was in Liverpool, somebody shouted, "Fuck off, woghead." And
You're getting racist abuse for 2 races you're not.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Maybe
uh,
this time you'll get a third. Add another string.
what? I wonder what.
Yeah. I don't
I
know.
wonder what.
Something Corona related.
Latino or something like that?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Latino
Yeah,
next.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking, yeah.
There's like an Argentinian sort of look to you.
But they
No,
claimed
cunts, they'll
some
call
other
you.
scousers came up to me in the bar afterwards and said, "Oh, woghead's just something we say in Liverpool. It doesn't actually mean what you think it means." And I went, "Well, I'm pretty sure if we truly investigate the etymology here,
I love it if you ask them, what do you
we will arrive at a point of first racism, I think." So I mean that first of all, because I love Hot Water so much, doing the clubs, and I love the people who run it so much, and I really wanted to do well by them. So yeah, that was really horrible. I've actually done it twice and bombed twice, but once I bombed as compere, which is a lot worse because you have to keep on revisiting that death.
Yeah.
Is that what you'd like?
Yeah, that was perfect.
So, yeah.
What's this attitude?
Is that what you want on your little podcast?
You love that,
Do you guys
don't you?
like stories and anecdotes to your podcast?
Do you two hang out, you know, socially now because of the
This
partners?
is the most Horatio has ever
We've spoken
talked.
already,
I mean,
yeah.
we've let him say
Yeah.
this much. Normally we sort of cut him off.
Do you go round to the parents' house? Do you guys? Is that
We've met
No,
4,
we've
we've met
never-
4 or
we've-
5 times, I think.
What?
We've met about 4 or 5 times. This is like our 5th time we've met.
In life?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well,
But only...
cool.
We met twice socially.
Yeah. Well, they were meetings. I thought they were meetings.
I didn't. I thought we were friends.
Yeah, exactly.
That was
I
a
was trying to get down to
business.
business.
He was
Oh,
trying
no.
to pitch you something.
Yeah. Horatio came with a laptop and a file.
PowerPoint presentation.
True, yeah.
He's there with a
It was
file.
actually we first met, and I got my laptop out, and it was actually a no laptop zone, which really showed the two sides.
We didn't need the laptop for.
Yeah,
No, I know,
Yeah,
exactly.
no laptop zone is when you're hanging out with a friend, mate.
Yeah,
So it doesn't matter
exactly.
where you
No,
are.
no.
So
It really showed.
Do you do that thing when you're with a mate where you get your phones out and you put them on the table and also like face down and stack them up, put them all on vibrate, and then whoever feel a phone vibrate, but nobody checks it because you want to be social, and if you do want to check it, you have to get the round.
That's
Wow,
great.
never heard that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
great.
Isn't
Good.
it great?
Yeah.
Why does I normally take my phone out and put it face up towards them to show I'm getting important messages and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
chatting about their shit life? And I look at it and go, yeah, do you think this is important?
My friend was doing that. I was trying to talk and he was getting his phone out, just checking his messages. Well, I can't.
No, I don't get it.
I
don't
cannot
get
stand it.
Mine's on
I
airplane
give
mode
a
when I'm
story
hanging out with
10
people.
seconds, and then my hand goes towards the phone unless they throw in another interesting side to the anecdote. So it's sort of like a way of
You're like
speed.
almost on the buzzer.
Yeah,
of
it's like they're
Britain's
going
Got
like,
Talent
oh,
sort
okay,
of
no,
thing.
your mum died. No, okay.
Oh, no,
that
she's
was a
just
long
awful.
time ago. And kind of try and keep it like that.
Yeah, it's a good system.
Yeah.
You've got to have a system.
No matter
That
what it is.
phone's down in the. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's good, isn't
Well,
it?
do what Mooch, our other producer, does. He has an app that only allows him to check messages and social media and everything for 3 hours a day or something.
Yes.
So you can have emails, but everything else is on lock and for only 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
Let's break the cycle.
What's of all social media? What's your real poison? The one that you're trying to fend off at the moment, even though you seem quite well removed from it.
Saying got no followers, mate.
I think during the transfer window or like a moment of big political tumult. So like when the vote of confidence happened against Jeremy Corbyn, or during the Virgil van Dijk's Liverpool transfer saga, I was quite bad for Twitter. I mean, it's quite bad, but I'm very much a receiver, if you'll excuse the expression. I do not tweet because it just doesn't matter.
Twitter bottom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's the BBC News are now doing Corona updates, so not even just BBC News updates, just a Corona update.
Yeah.
Well, on the homepage is the top story every day. It's a different update.
4 more people have got it. Right, guys, this has been All I Do Is Fail. Thank you so much for coming, Alfie.
My pleasure.
Is there
I hope
anything-
it was okay
was
and
great.
that I failed enough for your...
No, it's
Man,
fantastic.
We'll
It's
cut it to
amazing.
make it sound good.
Yeah,
It's all right.
yeah. Is there anything you wish to plug before we go?
Plug your Instagram, Alfie.
Where can people find you? You're
Yeah.
on tour, ticket sales.
When does it go out?
Tuesday.
This will go out Tuesday.
I am... Hello.
Oh, hello. I didn't expect you there.
I Alfie Brown comedian on Instagram and Facebook. I also have a Twitter at AB comedian, and you should follow those. I'm on tour, Birmingham, on March the 20th, and that's the end. If you're listening to this in Australia, please come and seek me out there.
I think we have
Yeah, we have
some
listeners
viewers.
in
Yeah,
Australia.
some Australia. We can see.
And subscribe to the Patreon.
Yeah, at AIDIF Pod for those dick pics and shit.
How much? What payment options have you got
Got
on the
5,
Patreon?
10, 20 a month. So
20 a month.
Shut up.
We should do
20 a
See what
month.
Nigel-
Alfie.
Yeah.
Come
20.
on.
We work 20 a
Starts,
month.
should
A
start
month.
at
What do you
20.
get for
20 a
20 a month?
Anything you want.
You get
Any-
We'll come around your
well,
house.
for that,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
good
yeah.
deal actually.
20 a month, you can.
20
you
is
know,
a good deal.
They know what
Like
20 a month
20 a
will
month.
get.
20 is a good
You
deal.
know what? We should genuinely. Nigel has a crazy rich Asian option, Nigel Ng, on his Patreon, which is $880 a month. And for that, you can like just come into the studio, I think, and just sit in the corner. We
Just
should
go
put
into
something like-
your house.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
hang out, take
They
shit
can
from the
sleep in my
fridge.
bed for 800 quid a month. You can sleep in my bed. I don't care.
I mean, if you wanted to put 880 quid on my Patreon, you can move in.
Yeah.
You can be my. That's
That's
flat.
rent, that's rent,
Yeah.
So that's going to
So
be up
if
there
you want
as
to
well.
be one Riley's tenant, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, it's like subletting. It would be because you'd find another place with the money, and you could just
Okay,
have
yeah.
someone could just live there and it'd just be paying rent through Patreon.
Yeah.
Wow,
What do you get for the 5?
5.
you could do anything.
Anything.
Yeah,
Come and live at the house. Take what you got from the fridge.
Hand jobs. That's just
Yeah. Okay.
hand jobs. Isn't it? Yeah, just if you want to get just anything really. Is there an option to just donate as much as they want, or is it has to be 5, 10?
No, you can always put in whatever you want in
Yeah.
there. But those are the.
But we should start doing
designated-
Patreon bonus content. I would say
Yeah.
Well,
Probably,
yeah.
Probably, yeah.
because there is a lot of stuff that comedians say before the podcast that they say, "Is this aired? Is this airing?" And we say no.
Yeah.
I feel that clipped up for like the very small Patreon
we should probably
base.
talk about it when we finished recording.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, guys, you can find
Okay,
me
guys.
at Tom
Okay,
Elwes.
guys.
Shut up.
Hello.
You're gonna ruin this.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
I did get a complaint that.
Did somebody
people-
just knock at the door?
Oh yeah, maybe sounded.
No, I don't think
or
so.
Maybe it was, did that or something.
Hello.
No.
Onwards.
My bad.
So my complaint that you stopped saying the news because you don't do the news anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can play with that in like the 3rd episode I was on.
Yeah, because you loved it that much.
Okay.
Yeah, you can find me at Tom Elwes.
Okay,
At
guys.
Ali Woods gigs, I got previews coming up, so please do come along if you fancy seeing some stand up.
Also, if you're thinking about Edinburgh Fringe Festival, you can come and see me at 4:30 at the Community Project with Just the Tonic, and you can see.
I've got a show, but I'm going to build the hype because tickets aren't on sale yet, so just watch out. Watch
this
out.
space.
Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Exciting things happening.
Keep refreshing.
Yeah, the good news
Guys.
is we won't be clashing, so you can come to
You
both
can-
shows.
You can double up. The
Are
old
you doing a
Woods
solo,
Woods
Tom?
double
I'll
up.
speak
Yeah.
afterwards.
And you can buy tickets for my show at 10:30 p.m. at the Monkey Barrel.
Oh, are you doing any shows in London? Where like are you doing like vaults or anything? Or
I've done vaults.
right,
I will be performing in London again.
I definitely want to come. I didn't get to see your show because I was clashing.
No, I wouldn't.
I would like to come and see that. I heard
Oh right,
good
I don't know.
things.
I'm not doing the old show again. But
Thank
Recording it though and
Uh,
putting it up.
I'm recording it, so maybe we can all watch it.
like
The
a
live watch along.
Yeah.
Yeah, have
a
a big viewing
The
party
joke
at
of-
Electric
You
Cinema.
should do that, like a Q&A, like people introducing film screenings. You should do that for your specials.
Oh god!
And
what
like
if
come on
nobody
with
came?
come out with like
If
a
you're there,
turtleneck.
just do the show.
No, do like come out with a turtleneck and talk about
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Sure. When I started writing this poem, I thought it was very much about my mother.
Yes, that's a nice idea. I'm glad we did this.
Yeah.
It's a brainstorm, if anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you much, Horatio.
Okay, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you
Do
very
you
much.
want to plug where you can find
At Horatio_Gould. I'm actually looking for gigs, so if anybody, has anything,
He does a podcast with people who run a night, and he's
if you guys, well, yeah.
If you've got anything for Horatio, right?
'Cause I keep flashing
And
the
again,
MC.
he says gigs. He doesn't just mean comedy. Anything you can turn up to.
Anything. I was a quiz master for a little bit, but that's for another time.
So find Horatio and offer him a gig.
Okay, this has been All I Do Is Fail. Thank you very much, Mr. Alfie Brown.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Ali Woods.
Thank you very much. Thank you for listening.
I've been Tom Elwes. Thank you very much. Good night.
Bye-bye.